Dear friends, welcome to my YouTube channel. This channel is created specifically for learning purposes, and we'll be going through different learning areas, but more specifically, we'll be dwelling on mathematics and science. So as you know that there are some of our learners in our country who are in very remote areas or places where access to some of this information is not very easy. So this platform, I think, will help such learners to learn something from at least whatever we are going to do. So from there, we will be doing more of this. So today, I have decided to pick grade 4 mathematics. So we are starting with grade 4 mathematics under the substrand rounding of numbers. Rounding of numbers. Rounding off numbers. Now, rounding off numbers means being that these learners are just from grade 3. So this is the first stage where this substrand is met. So rounding off is found in grade 4 for the first time. So these learners still doesn't understand anything in rounding off of numbers. So they need a lot of explanation and a lot of time to know what rounding off is, because if they get it right from now, from the word go, then they will find it very easy to do it in grade 5, in grade 6, and moving forward. So we will take time to explain with so many examples, so that by the end of the day, this learner understands what rounding off is. So in grade 4, they talk about rounding off numbers to the nearest 10. To the nearest 10. To the nearest 10. Now, the first thing we have to ask ourselves, what are these numbers that falls under 10? So the numbers that falls under 10 are these numbers. So we have 0, then we have 10. So it starts from 10 actually. Then 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. So these numbers are what we call tens. So they fall under the place value of tens. So when you are rounding off a number, that means rounding off a number means you have been given a number. And I want to start with the single numbers. Single numbers means numbers from 1 to 9. Before we move to double numbers or 2-digit number and 3-digit number. So single numbers, a 1-digit number, that means from 1 to 9. You can be given any number within that bracket from 1 to 9 to round it off to the nearest 10. And remember, tens are this. So for example, you have been given number 3 and you are told round off number 3 to the nearest 10. That word rounding off means you are told this number 3 that you have, where does it, how can it be, where can it be placed in terms of distance from 0 to 10? In short, that's what I'm trying to say. So that means we are going to write these numbers from 0 to 10. That's the first step. So we write the numbers from 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So these are the numbers. So you are told to round off to the nearest 10. Now, when you are rounding off, our interest are these numbers here, either from 0 up to 90. And at some point, it might even go up to 100. So because we are talking about a one-digit number, a one-digit number is a number like 3. It's just a single number. So you have been given number 3 to round off to the nearest tens. So when you are rounding off to the nearest tens, after identifying that number, the answers of rounding off are always found at these two ends. So when you are rounding off a number, that number is either next to 0 or it is next to 10. Because rounding off, simply you are asked which number is next to the number you have been given. So you have number 3. So the first thing, go to that number 3. After writing them from 0 to 10, go to number 3. In this case, it is this number here. So that is our number 3. So we want to look at this number 3 and find out from number 3 to 0 and from number 3 to 10, where does it take us the shortest time to reach, or the number of steps. In fact, we used to call them number of steps. So we want to make how many steps do I have from 3 to 0 and how many steps do I have from 3 to 10. So let us start from 3 to 0. So you'll have 1, 2, 3. So upper, there are only 3 steps. In this case, there are only 3 steps. From 3 to 10, let us look at the number of steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So in that case, there are 7 steps. So in terms of distance, it is obvious that 3 to 10 is far than 3 to 0. So that means when you are rounding off a number 3 to the nearest 10, that means which number is it next to? This end or this end? So you realize that it is next to 0 than 10. So that means number 3 rounded off to the nearest tens is 0. Now let us pick another number, maybe number 5. Number 5 is still a single digit number. Number 5 is also still a single digit number, one digit number. So we want to round off number 5 to the nearest 10. Number 5 still falls under between 0 up to 10. So you go to where that number 5 is and identify it, which is there. So let us look at the number of steps from 5 to 0 and from 5 to 10. So when we move to 0, it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 steps. From 5 to 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 steps. So you realize that number 5 is at the center of these numbers from 0 to 10. So if a number is at the center, rounding off means go to where you are next to. And in fact, when you are counting, you start from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 as you move towards 10. So the moment you are counting and you reach 5, your aim is to move to 10. Your aim is move to 10. So if you reach number 5, you are supposed to move to, don't come back to 0 because they are the same. So if you come back to 0, it's like you are doing a 0 work. So all these numbers, the rule is all the numbers from 5 here, from 5, all the numbers, be it 6, 7, 8, 9, all these numbers remaining here, when they are rounded off, they move towards this 10. So they are all these numbers, when rounded off to the nearest 10, the answer becomes 10 because they are next to 10 than 0. I think that one is very clear up to that point. Now, let me move to a 2-digit number. And of course, if you have a question or if you have something to add, you can always comment. The comment button is always open for everybody. So you can comment, you can write a question there so that we find out of helping you or helping our learners. So let me move to a 2-digit number. A 2-digit number starts from 10 to 90. Those are the tens. So that means you can be given any number that falls between 10 to 90 or even 99. So let us pick any number, maybe 13. So once you have those two numbers, the first thing you ask yourself is, you are told to round off this number to the nearest tens, and tens are this. We listed them here. So that means if you are given a 2-digit number like this, your answer must be one of these. So the first thing, identify that this number 13 I have been given falls between which two tens. There are some tens that this number falls between, and those tens are number 10 and 20. So this number 13 falls between these two numbers. So you can just write from 10 to 20, then you find out where this number 13 is. So let's have 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. So the first thing is to identify where the two tens that this number you have been given falls under. So this number 13 falls between 10 and 20. It is between there, and it is here. This is where that number 13 is. So once you have identified where that number 13 is, and you know the tens, we move to what we did with the step 1, counting the number of steps from 13 to 10 or from 13 to 20. So from 13 to 10 we have 1, 2, 3. There are 3 steps. From 13 to 20 we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are 7 steps. Our interest is take that number to the 10 it is next to, the nearest 10 to that number. So 13, if you look at the distance from 13 to 20 and from 13 to 10, this is a shorter distance. There are only 3 steps compared to all these 7 steps. So that means if you round off number 13 to the nearest tens, it comes back to 10. So your answer there becomes 13 rounded off to the nearest 10, your answer becomes 10. If the number is past 15, let us look at another number, maybe 16. Let us look at another number, 16. You are told to round off number 16. Or maybe let us take another, maybe let us talk of 30, maybe 37. 37, let us take 37. So you are told to round off 37 to the nearest 10. 37. So the first thing, ask yourself, 37 falls between which 10 and which 10? That is very important, because that is where your answer lies. This 10 and this 10. So 37 falls between 30 and 40. It is in between there. So let us write them from 30, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, and 40. Once we have that, we identify that number 37 where it is, and it is here. Once you have highlighted it, this is the end and this is the end. So those two ends always gives us the answer of rounding off. So 37 is there. So we look at the number of steps again. From 37 back to 30 is how many steps? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. From 37 to 30, there are 7 steps. From 37 to 40, there are 1, 2, 3. There are only 3 steps. That means, looking at the distance, 37 is next to 40 than 30. So when you are rounding off that 37 to the nearest 10, your answer should be 40. that is the 10 near 37 than this 30. So remember, we are talking about tens, which are these ones. So your answers, I said your answers lies within this bracket of from 10 to around 90, or at some point it will go up to 100. Let us pick another number, like maybe 88 or 86. So once we have finished with a 2-digit number, we look at the 3-digit number, and maybe that will be enough for grade 4, because grade 4s, we don't want to give learners a lot of things. These are young learners who are just from grade 3, so they are not used to very big numbers. So let me give them maybe a number like 80, let's say 86, and you are told round off 86 to the nearest 10. The first thing you ask yourself, 86 falls between which tens? So 86 falls between 80 to 90. It is found in between there. So you write from 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, and 90. Once you have them, and of course you know that the answers of rounding off are always at the end. It is either this one or this one. Only those two, nothing else. That's why it is important to know the bracket. Where does this number fall? So that once you have those two numbers, automatically you know it is either this one or this one, so that you don't pick anything in between here. So let us go to 86 and I highlight it. It is here. That is where our 86 is, which we are supposed to round off to the nearest tens. Tens are here. So the same process or the same procedure, counting the number of steps from 86 to 80 and from 86 to 90. So let us start from 86 backwards to 80. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Those are 6 steps. From 86 to 90, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. There are only 4 steps. Rounding off means the nearest number that is next to that number you have been given. So if we have been given 86 and our ends here talks of 90 and 80, then the number of steps will obviously tell us that 86 is next to 90 than 80, because from 86 to 90 there are only 4 steps. From 86 to 80 there are 6 steps. So we move to the nearest number, not far. Of course, the nature of a human being is always we want to make work easier. That is why we have machines. So we always want to do things that are very easy to do. So you move to the nearest destination, not far. So don't come back all the way 6 steps. Go to 90, only 4 steps. So that is also for the 86. So let me talk about 90 something, because there is 90 is the last tens. So what about, somebody can ask himself or herself that what about if I've been given 90 something to round it off to the nearest 10, which is very important. By the way, there was one of my learners asked me, teacher, if you are given 7,800 round off to the nearest thousands, what do you do? I told him that one is not under our class, because that is a big number. A grade 4, we only need tens only. So he's also talking about hundreds and thousands. Some learners are genius, so they will ask you questions that will frustrate others. So stick to tens, in short. So let's say you have been given let's say 80, 87, no, 97, and you are asked to round off to the nearest 10. The first thing, ask yourself, 97 falls under which tens? So 97 falls under 90 and 100. And remember, 100 is not tens. 100 falls under hundreds, but 97 falls between 90 to 100. So you have to use that 100. That's why I wrote this one here. At some point, your answer, when rounding off to the nearest 10, you will find yourself with the 100. So let us count from 90 to 100 to see where does this 97 falls. 1, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, and 100. 97 falls here. Counting the number of steps from 97 to 100 is 1, 2, 3, only 3 steps. From 97 back to 90 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 steps. Rounding off means the number we are near to, the nearest number to the number you have been given. So 97, looking at the number of steps, 97 is next to 100 or near 100 than 90. So you are rounding off to the nearest tens gives you an answer of 100, and it is correct. It is correct. So don't say, oh, we were just rounding off to the nearest 10. Why do I reach 100? It is the process that has landed you there. Which two numbers? 97 falls between which two tens? So there is no other 10 apart. After 90, there is no any other 10. So after 90, you go to 100. So that means if you are 97 is next to 100, write 100. Don't come back to 90. So I think that is very clear up to that point. Now let me look at the last step. That is a 3-digit number. You have been given a 3-digit number. That means hundreds. To round off to the nearest tens. Here we round off to the nearest tens, nothing else. Even if you are given thousands, the question will always be round off to the nearest tens. If you find somebody asking a grade 4 to round off to the nearest hundreds, take him or her to the nearest police station and their cool beans. So let's get a number, maybe like 236. You are told, round off the following number to the nearest tens. This number is 236. So I want you to understand this part very clearly, because this is where sometimes learners get confused. So first of all, what you have to know is that we are dealing with tens, not hundreds. So hundreds here is not our interest. So there's this 200 here, and there's this 36. This is what we want. So this 200, put it somewhere. Don't throw it away, just put it somewhere and tell yourself, I am not dealing with this 200, I am dealing with this 36, so that you have that 36 here. So when you have this 36 here, it takes us back to what we have just done previously. So you have 36. So from 36, you ask yourself, this 36 falls between which two tens? So 36 falls between 30 and 40. 36 is found in between those two numbers. So let us count 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, and 40. Very good. Then let us identify where that 36 is, which is here. It is here. So we have our 36 there. The same process, counting the number of steps from 36 to 30, from 36 to 40. So from 36 to 30, we have how many steps? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 steps. From 36 to 40, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Only 4 steps. So that means 36 is next to or near 40 than 30, depending on the number of steps. The more the steps, the far you are from that point or from that answer. So the fewer the steps, the nearer you are to that number. So you move to where the number you are next to, the nearest number to where you have been, the number you have been given. So we have rounded off 36 to then we have found out that it is 40. Once you have it, go back to that your 200 where you left it. So it was 200. Say I left this 200 here, so I'm coming back to you. Take it and add that 40 of yours there. So you will have a total of 240. So if you are told to round off a number 236 to the nearest tens, don't say we have not been taught hundreds. It's the same thing. We are dealing with the tens. So pick that tens, round it off, then come and add it there. You will get your answer there, 240. Let me pick the last number. The last number. Even if you're given a big number like even 800 and I don't know what, the process is the same. It is as simple as that. So let's our learners not get confused. Let our learners not get confused. Let them stick to tens. And this process is the simplest. That's why I've decided to use this, because it is the simplest. This one, even a grade 8, even a grade 6, even a grade 5, who is still getting difficulty in rounding off, refer them to this page. Refer them to this topic. They will get help. So let's talk about maybe 870, maybe 78. Don't disturb yourself. No, let me talk about maybe 74 now. Don't disturb yourself if the number is big. No. Ask yourself, we have been told to round off to the nearest 10. So you are busy with the tens. Which are these? This 800, weka somewhere. So you are dealing with this 8 is 74. So 74, the same question. Which two tens does 74 falls? So 74 falls between 70 to 80. So let's write 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, and 80. Then the next thing, identify where that 74 is, which is here. Once you have it, the same process, number of steps. From 74 to 70, you have 1, 2, 3, 4. There are only 4 steps. From 74 to 80, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 steps. Comparing the number of steps, 4 is shorter than 6. So inamaanisha 74 is next to or near 70 than 80. So we pick the nearest number to whatever we have been given. So 74 rounded off to the nearest tens is 70. Don't forget, there was 800 somewhere. This thing was 874. It was not 74 alone. So don't say, my answer is 74. Your answer is not 74. There was 800. So bring that 800, then add it to that you are 70. You will get a total of 870. You will get a total of 870. So dear friends, promote this platform, this channel, by subscribing, liking, and sharing this information to reach as many learners as possible. Otherwise, we will continue with more and more and more and more. If you have a question, you have anything to say, kindly comment, and I will get those comments and will respond to them. Otherwise, thank you for watching.